I am the true alpha male, the living legend of hair loss and your personal hairline hero. Comments, man. The comments. We love comments. I think my best videos are the ones based on what other people say. What's really funny is when I'll make a video based off of a comment and I'll put something they said in the title of the video and people will get mad at the title. They'll never even watch the video. They'll give it a thumbs down and they'll start arguing against the point that I was actually talking against because they never watched the video. That's so funny. There's a good chance that could happen here for all I know. I made a video called Hair Transplant Defenders Say That I Am a Bad Influence. So let's check out. This is the version as at Seinfeld where he's like, hello Newman, which is how I feel about respectable person. A hair transplant defender. I say he's a MGTOW. This is his response to that video. Actually, the video, hair transplant defenders think alpha males don't deserve, there we go. Okay, so that's the video. He's left so many comments that I get it all mixed up. Here we go. So, hi Nick, thanks for responding. I will clarify some curiosities that you have shown about me, the anti-Nick. Hope you enjoy reading it and that you can do another response. So I'm going to kind of filter through some of this that's relevant to the topic of this video. So MGTOW, I'm accusing respectable person of being a quote, men that go their own way. That's ultimately what that means. And basically they kind of swear off women. WASP, women are stupid people because women are going to cheat on you if you go bald. Which in reality, if a woman's going to cheat on you, it's because you're not emotionally supporting her psychologically. That's the truth. A mature man knows that. A true alpha male knows that. A beta is going to think that women will leave you over that. So, MGTOW, I suppose that I prefer masculinist. I don't want to be a hermit within the society that doesn't cater to me and every other man. I want at least one country that is androcentric rather than gynocentric, where get special attention, pity, and favoritism rather than the women. So I'm going to scale down here a little bit more. Incel, am I an incel? I think most men are incels without compensating factors like money or, generally speaking, decent but not impressive looking men such as yourself won't be able to get hookups without strings attached because women have too many options. I fall under this category too, but I don't consider myself to be a true incel because most of my flaws are easily corrected. I don't have any facial reconstruction because all I have wrong with my facial structure is a slight overbite. Let's see, let's scroll down a little bit more on here as it relates to, oh yes, I called this one, and I'm seeing this for the first time. Yes, I am an atheist. Yeah, because atheists are pretty easy for me to pick out. They typically have high conflict personality, as a respectable person does. Yes, I am an atheist. I forgot to put this in because I didn't think about it all the time. Because grown men don't believe in unproved fairy tales, though I'm 110% willing to change my mind if I go through a supernatural experience like Indiana Jones. So yeah, see, I have a whole thing of calling people out with high conflict personality. Typically, they're teenagers, especially. That's a sign that someone's a teenager. But when they're a grown man and they still have that, by default, they're an atheist. That's one of my theories that so far has proven itself time over time. So he's ultimately asking me also too about, here it is, I like this. It's a long chain of responses here. But one of the other things he said was, also Nick, I just thought about it now. How do I have a victim mentality? I just acknowledge that members of the mainstream society have interests that clash with mine. I don't think having a hair transplant gives you a victim mindset any more than someone who got a missing tooth put back in his gum or someone who got a skin graft done after an injury. Notice how both of those are more of an injury. Like if you get a tooth knocked out, that's an injury. If you get skin graft, that's an injury. Hair loss is not an injury. That's the first thing I'm thinking when I see that. All right, here we go. I also think it's highly flawed to say that the reason that there is no cure for hair loss is because it's not a disease, because there are many life-threatening disorders that have no cure. Just because a problem is somewhat difficult to tackle doesn't mean that you should let it rob you of your appearance or bodily functions. So, see, but again, hair loss is not a disease. So how can there be a cure for something that there is no disease? That's what I'm saying. All right, so he says, I also think you're a bit insecure knowing that your life turned out so well, in good part thanks to the solid Norwood 1.5 to Norwood 2 you had somewhere when you were younger, when appearance mattering is against your philosophy. let's face it, if you went bald at 20, were shorter than 5'9", and didn't look like Ben Affleck, which by the way, that's, people say that I either look like Ben Affleck or Joe Rogan. Of course, that's with my glasses off, and I've got plenty of videos like that I look like that. He said, if it weren't for those things, you probably wouldn't have gotten married and your kids wouldn't exist, end quote. So I'm actually gonna give a little bit of credibility on this comment. I've said this in countless other videos, but it's been a while since I said it out loud, that it would have been very hard for me to deal with going bald at age 20. It would have been. But let's consider what life was like at age 20. The internet was fairly new. YouTube was still a couple of years away from existing. And it would have been really hard for me. Because even, like, that was about the time Vin Diesel became popular. So, I mean, I guess in theory I could have embraced shaving my head if it came down to it. But I think at age 20, it's not that I was insecure, but I didn't really have my life figured out yet. I think, and let's see, how old am I? I'm about to be 39, so do the math. Okay, so 2001 is when I turned 20. So I think if I was noticeably balding at age 20, in that version of my life, I would have tried to find some way to get a hair transplant. Back then. And what? Nick just said that he would get a hair transplant if he were 20? Consider who I was at age 20, considering that the internet didn't exist, considering that I didn't have access to my videos, considering that I did not have someone to help me realize that it was actually my own immaturity getting in the way of what was going on. I didn't have someone to pull me aside and say, hey Nick, look, even if you do go bald young, look what's trending now. Look what's happening with Vin Diesel and The Rock. These guys are shaving their heads. Women think they're hot. Granted, yes, they're working out. They're working out at the gym. But ultimately, and look at that girl over there. Look at her right now on a college campus. Look at her. She's a 10. Look at her boyfriend. No hair, and he's 20. Haven't you been noticing other cases of that? So do you really want to spend all that time and effort and money on a hair transplant? Yes, it'd be ideal to keep your hair, but it's working out for those other guys. So I think ultimately what I'm telling you guys, you're not like me. You have me telling you truth that no one told me back then. You have YouTube. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't understand how women are actually attracted to men. I still was naive to probably think that, oh no, if you go bald, women won't love you anymore. I had no understanding yet that it's all about emotionally and psychologically supporting the woman and making it about herself. She can easily have a bald boyfriend or husband or whatever, as long as he knows how to provide her needs, which are not based on looks. See, I didn't have anybody to tell me that. The difference between you and me, the viewer, is you know this stuff. I didn't. You have access to this knowledge. Now granted, let's face it, I'm the only YouTuber on the planet that regularly talks about this. Any other YouTuber that talks about hair loss, what are they trying to tell you? They're actually feeding into that insecurity. That, oh, well, you can take this drug, or you can get this hair transplant, or you can do this. They're ultimately trying to sell you some sort of product. They're only supporting that confidence crutch that much further. I am the only YouTuber that exists that regularly preaches this message. So I would think, knowing that I think I'm ranked number 4 most popular in the world for hair loss videos, I think that the 20-year-old version of me, assuming I'm a 20-year-old version of myself now watching this, I would find my channel because it's pretty easy to find, knowing that I've got well over 3,000 videos about the topic. I think I would find my videos and be emotionally intelligent enough to say, Manny made a great point about the bald guys that are 20 years old and have hot girlfriends. And ultimately all they're really doing is they're making the girl feel better about themselves. And the guy actually seems more confident because he's not holding on to hair. It's a much more masculine look to shave it off anyway. So if anything, wouldn't I be better off just shaving off my hair anyway? And what's funny is when I was 21, that was the first time I shaved off my hair, first time in my life. When I was a kid in the 80s, I had like this short spiky haircut, but I got, clippers and buzzed it all off. And that's when I fell in love with that concept. And that's when I realized, man, if I do go bald, I'm gonna shave it off because I really like this. So there's a little bit of background, a little bit of history on there. But in closing, he was asking, how is it victim mentality? It's victim mentality to think, I'm not good enough, I need to fix myself based on my looks. Now, someone who is victorious, has a victorious mindset, is going to say, I can always be improving, but it's going to be a matter of my communication, how I perceive myself, and that sort of thing. Someone who's a victim mentality is always focusing on their physical appearance and trying to improve that, which is throwing dust in the wind as far as trying to actually get what you want. Because if you're basing it off of getting people's attention and affection through your looks, that's thinking like a girl. That's thinking like a teenage boy. It's not thinking like a man. And I think we need to acknowledge my age. Yes, I'm a week away from turning 39. In addition to being the 4th most popular hair loss YouTuber, I also am older than a lot of them. I am the mentor. I'm your internet dad. There you go. There's my answer. Let's keep this going. Your comments are right here. That's a FedEx truck or something.